Hey everyone, how are you? I just thought I'd quickly drop in here and I wanted to just go through a couple of things. I just posted something on Instagram. It was 5 ways to give you more energy, right? So these are the things that work. They're not like anything new, and that's the thing, like the basics haven't changed forever. I've been in this industry for like 35 years, health coach, PT, wellness, weight loss, diploma of fitness, everything, right? Pilates, the whole thing. The basics of how we care for ourselves, with our self-care, with our energy, nothing's really changed, right? We still have to do the things that take care of ourselves, to have fun, to live with vitality. And so the thing is, what is the goal, right? Is the goal to live healthier for longer? Is it to, have less frustration around? A lot of women are frustrated with their weight, with their hormones, that kind of thing. As we're getting older, they're not as happy with their body anymore. We just want to feel good, right? That's what most people say to me. They just want to feel good, right? So it means you have to unlearn some stuff that you're doing. It means you have to take some stuff away that's not helping you. And so what are those things? So I'm going to just tell you 5 things that I think give you back energy, because no matter what you want to do, you want enough energy to get through your day, plus more, to do more than what you're just getting through your day. You don't want to be just surviving, right? You want more than just that. So, what are you going to do? These are the basics. So if you're not doing the basics, we need to ask what is happening and why we don't have time, or the priority isn't there. Your health isn't a priority to even be taking care of yourself. But these things work, right? So I'm taking all the bullshit out. We're unlearning all the crap. I'm very anti-diet. You already probably know that if you follow me anyway, right? So this is just basic stuff that even on your worst day, you can do, right? It's all really important stuff. It's not hard, right? First of all, you want more energy? You need to move, right? You need to move. We create energy, like we're designed to move. You've got to create energy from your movement. So whether, and what I have learned from watching women and even myself, is sometimes doing nothing is actually not better. Do you know what I mean? Like you actually end up telling yourself how tired you are, how stressed you are. It's actually not changing anything. So sometimes, and even this age now, you can rest and you're just uninspired. You're just not motivated. There's nothing driving you. It's not that you're tired. You're just a bit bored. You're frustrated. You're lonely. You've got no energy. You're fatigued like hell because you're not sleeping properly, because you've got to go back to the basics, right? Which is what we're doing. So there's probably a few reasons, but one of the things you don't want to do anymore is punishing your body, smashing your body. Pain, no pain, no gain, go hard, go home, that kind of rubbish that we did in our 20s and 30s, right? Well, I did. But it's got to be easy, enjoyable. It doesn't have to be an hour. It doesn't have to be anything. You just take all the rules away. So when I'm teaching that stuff, we're talking 4 to 6 minutes, possibly 12, 10 minutes, a walk, dancing, whatever, right? It's got to be something that's enjoyable or you won't do it. So that's number 1, right? It's just start moving, and nature, walking outside, you can't beat that, right? From being mindful. And I'll give you a tip straight up, and I think I'll go deeper into this, into some sort of challenge coming up. But the thing is, if you're uninspired and unmotivated, not that you need motivation, but you're uninspired to get going, think of it as something else. Don't call it exercise. That's my tip. Don't call it exercise, right? So you want energy, put on the music, put on your walking thing, your earphones when you're walking, take the dog, go hiking, go to the beach, go to the lake, whatever you've got near you, use nature, or use it for your break. Like think of it as me time, think of it as connecting back into yourself. Don't think of it as exercise, because I can guarantee you most people won't do it. So if they call it exercise, they hate exercise, they won't do it. So it's just like a mind block thing, right? But if you call that a lunch break, or you call that, getting out in nature, getting some sunshine, if you call that me time, or some peace and quiet, or mindfulness, meditation, whatever you want to design it, call it, that's what you need to do, right? So don't call it exercise if you have a block and you don't like exercise, right? Because that's what it is. Like I said, dance. one song is 3 minutes. You'll be so surprised how knackered you are just from doing that. Do a couple of songs, right? It doesn't matter. So number one, you need energy. You've got to create energy, right? And being uninspired, it is hard. But when you tune into what it is that you feel like doing, instead of forcing yourself, you'll be a lot more inclined to go and do it, yeah? So number two, what we all know is rest more. Rest more, right? So many women that I have taught and worked with, they keep pushing through, right? Because that's, I guess, proving to them that they're not weak. Does that make sense? Like they've actually said those words, right? That they're not weak and they can keep going and they push through. They've got so much to do, but without the energy to back it. So if you want to renew your energy and you want to feel motivated, exhaustion isn't it, right? So if you're pushing your body and you're not even taking what I call mini breaks through the day, just to reset, right? Have a cuppa, go and sit in the sunshine, ring a friend, scroll Facebook for 5 minutes, whatever, only 5 minutes, right? Whatever, right? If you're constantly draining the life force that you have left and you're crawling into bed and then doing it again the next day, no one will win, right? No one's going to win from that behavior. And you're not going to win from that behavior either. Eventually you'll end up, your body will go piss off, right? It's going to be cranky. It's going to be unwell, right? It's just not going to continue like that. You can't continue like that. So what I do find, and I've talked to a lot of ladies that do this, so they'll go all day, and their feet and their legs are killing them by the end of the day, right? They're working, they're busy, right? So by just having that little tiny rest during the day, and you put your feet up for 10 minutes and have that cuppa, if you looked after yourself over the day, you won't be, falling into bed at the end of the day, falling asleep on the couch, exhausted to the point where you can't move, right, to get to bed, exhausted where your legs are killing you, your feet are killing you, knees are killing you, your back's killing you. That, these things are signs that you've gone too hard during the day, and I don't understand the resistance to resting. So I think it is a mindset thing where if I rest, it means something about me. If I take a break, because maybe you were a pocket rocket, and you are a pocket rocket, but now you're getting a bit older, you need to take better care of yourself, that you're resistant to that, right? So and then your body starts breaking down. So rest more. And like I said, little breaks, I call them, they're just 10-minute mini breaks, right? Take a break. And then you won't be so exhausted at the end of the day, so tired, right? I'm all for naps. I'm all for putting my feet up. I'm all for resting, right? Now, number three, so releasing the stress. So not just, we've got to reduce stress, but sometimes you can't reduce it apart from the fact that you're going to change the way you look at stress, the way you respond to stress, because the stress is an event, right? How you respond to that is the thing that you can control. You may not control the event, right? Most people can't. It's out of our control. But what you can do is lower your cortisol hormones. Lower your resilience to that. Like your body's immunity is getting worn out. Your adrenals are getting worn out. Everything's getting worn out from this high level of cortisol that's being pumped around, including insulin that is dumping into your body because it thinks you're going to run away from a dinosaur. So you've got your fight or flight or freeze. There's one other, fight or flight or freeze. That is what stress is doing to our body, right? It's actually changing our cells, right? It makes us sick. It really does make us sick. Like scientifically proven, it changes stuff, right? So not only is it increasing the fat cells because it's actually the cortisol and fat cells and insulin, all that works together with the stress. So what you need to do is try and have those practices, which I'm not going to go into today, but you might have practices where you go for a walk in nature, where you put your feet up, or you have a nap, or you have a read, or you have a herbal tea, or you meditate, or you, what else? Go to bed earlier. Like, whatever it is, what is that thing that you do to release the stress, whether it be dancing, whether it be music, whether it be family. I mean, sometimes family is stress. Doesn't release the stress, it gives you more. So what, you know what I mean? Like these things are going to give you back your energy, right? You can't do well from this place. You can't get well from this place. Yeah, that's the thing. You won't be able to get well from this place of high stress. The cortisol levels have to come down. Your adrenals are getting drained like hell. And if you've had years of chronic stress, right? Years, some people have had some terrible things happen to them. Years of stress. Their adrenals are going to need some heavy heavy supplements, some naturopathic help to get back on track, right? To be able to support that adrenal gland. And your estrogen is tied to that too, just for the record, when it comes to the weight gain and the fat cells, right? That's all part of it, our hormones. So you'll find that, you know, your hormonal symptoms will be worse once you're stressed. So we're not going to, you know, we can't avoid the stress. We certainly can release it, right? Release it. Release the way we look at it, the way we respond to it, what our body feels like and what our body's doing with that stress, right? Even though we've got no control over the event, we have control over how we think, feel, act. That is the thing that's going to keep us on an even keel, right? So we are aiming for a bit of a calm nervous system, right? That's going to help us. So that's going to give you more energy, right? If you can do a little bit of that practice, find those practices. So when I'm working with clients, we have some practices that we put in place for that, right? Because that's really number one if you want to lose weight too. So it's all kind of part of getting healthy, getting less, you know, just more connected, more energy, get your mojo back. Although I'm now thinking I don't want my mojo back. I want new mojo. I want better mojo. I want mojo that suits me now. So I'm trying to revamp that myself and go, well, what works for me now? Because it didn't, you know, what used to work doesn't work as I've gotten older. And I don't want that anyway. I was like crazy, you know, it's full on. So number 4, I have a theory that, and a belief that weight takes care of itself when you're doing the healthy things for yourself. When you're resting, when you're eating well, when you're moving your body, when you're, you know, practicing releasing stress, all that kind of stuff, the weight goes, right? So it's now focusing on the vitality and the energy and how you feel and other ways of feeling good, other ways of measuring the energy, measuring the weight, like, yeah, as in measuring health, not scales. So we're focusing, number 4 is focusing on health, not weight, right? Because there's lots of ways to measure progress. So it could be how you get up in the morning, how you're going to bed earlier, you know, like you're going to bed earlier, or you're reading, or you're feeling calmer, you're sleeping better, you're not waking up at 3 and 4 in the morning and can't get back to sleep. You might be managing the weight a bit better. You might be less sugar cravings. Like there's lots of things, but skinny does not mean healthy, right? Because I can tell you that in all the times I've worked with ladies, and I've worked with some men as well, what they're doing to try and lose weight is not always healthy. Their mindset isn't healthy. They're focused on doing things that are actually quite harmful to their metabolism, their muscle, their, you know, their confidence. There's a lot of things that people do to get healthy, to lose the weight, that are actually not very positive, not very healthy, and don't feel good at all, right? There's a lot of pushing and forcing and a lot of upset and a lot of frustration with that, right? That comes with trying to lose weight. So I have a theory that when we focus on our health and the healthy habits that we need in our day, in our week, in our life, changing the lifestyle habits that you've got will take care of the weight. Yeah, does that make sense? So, you know, what feels good, focus on on your vitality of life and your enjoyment of life, your passions, your joy in general, right? Your gratefulness, your other tools, other ways that we can measure weight that isn't a number, that isn't on the scales, right? So that's number 4. And number 5, again, along these lines of the restriction, the going without, the negative self-talk. I mean, actually negative self-talk is probably one of the biggest problems that we have, that's draining our energy because we're in our head a lot, even though number 5, I was going to say, is actually restriction. So it's actually dieting. So the thing is with diets, and you may already know this if you've done lots of them, and you may know that they don't work because your body, our body is very clever and it slows down. So it goes, hell, I don't have enough food. I'm going to slow down my energy and reserve as much energy as I can because I can't survive on what she's giving me, right? And it's a survival thing. So your body has a point where it's going to find it. Even if you're not giving it food, it's going to take it from the muscle. It's going to take it from other areas. It's going to take your protein. It's going to take things that it needs to keep the brain working, right? And this is the thing I have against not having carbs at all, people that don't have carbs. Your body is designed for sugar and carbs, right? It can't, your brain doesn't live like that. Your heart doesn't live without it, right? Very well. It needs energy in the muscles. It needs the glucose. It's got to come from somewhere, right? So the thing with dieting and restriction of calories, although there has to be a little bit of a deficit and it can be managed in a nice way, not skipping meals, you don't want to lower your energy. You don't want to store more fat because that's what it'll do. So it's slowing down your metabolism. The quickest way is actually putting on muscle, is actually doing weight training and training more muscle, because that burns calories quicker. So it speeds up your metabolism. That's why training works, right? That's why doing a little bit of weight work at home or resistance or whatever you're doing actually works, right? Our bones need it, but also our metabolism needs it. And that's why it's not necessarily our age that makes us put on weight. It's the fact that we've slowed down and we're not doing the things that we used to do, right? We're not as active as we used to be. We don't have as much muscle as we used to have, right? So therefore our body kind of readjusts and recalibrates and slows down the energy, output that it's using because it's not getting enough. So when you're dieting, it's even worse, right? You're actually already at a deficit because you're slowing down even more and you're giving your body less. So you're better off to give it better food that it can burn and use and give you energy, rather than restrict it and try and slow it down, which is what it's going to do, right? So again, focusing on your weight is not necessarily the healthiest thing you can do. And like I said, what I've seen, for most people, the trying to lose weight has not been the healthy path unless they have help, right? Unless they've learnt the lessons already and they've put the weight back on and they've realized that hasn't worked. And that is the truth about that dieting thing, and we all know it. But I don't know why people are still into that. I mean, it's different if it's a balanced diet and you've got lots of protein and nuts and berries and fish and meat and you've got everything. It's a lot harder when you don't and you're just going without big food groups, or you're skipping meals for a start, right? So if you want some support around that, have a chat to me. But that's my theory. So that's the 5, right? So we talked about moving more. So again, that gives you muscle, right? So more muscle, you're going to maintain your energy, you're going to maintain your weight, right? So if weight is a thing. But definitely for all of us, living older, longer, we want to be healthier for longer. We want to live fully. We want to live with vitality. We want to live well, like aging well. We don't want to age in a way that's impeding our life. Or affecting our health. Yeah, we don't want to age like that. So rest, so start moving, number 1. Number 2 is resting more, because also our body rejuvenates overnight, right? So if we're not getting enough sleep, and I know it's hard because with menopause and stuff, I think this morning was like 5 o'clock. I didn't go back to sleep. Some nights it's 3 or 4. So I do have to be mindful as well, like everybody, right? We have to be careful what we're thinking, what we're putting into our brains before bed. Our routines at night, have we got that sleep routine going well? Do we need some help? Is there some things that we can do that actually give us a better sleep at night? So, but during the day, I know that women are not resting, right? They're against resting. They're just fighting it. So I want to just say, stop fighting it. Let your body recover. Let it re-energize. Let it renew what it needs to do. Because you won't have motivation if you're exhausted, right? So that's number 2. We've already gone through that. Releasing the stress, let it go. What can you let go? What can you do that's, because stress is making us sick. It's making us fat. It's making us sick, right? And it's certainly not going to give you mojo or energy, right? If you've got too much, it's making our cells sick, our heart sick, our head sick, everything, right? So what are those practices in place to help you manage that, right? So let go of some stuff, let go of some overwhelm. Where can you, where can you release some stuff there to make that lighter for you, to live lighter? Yeah. Focusing on health, not weight. Forget the scales. Not a good indicator. Never has been. And there's so many more ways to measure vitality and health, right? And let's face it, weight is not going to show how fabulous you are. It's not going to show how the scales are not going to tell you that you're smart, wise, amazing, fun, gorgeous. They're not going to do that. So it's just such a black and white, unnecessary thing, right? Skinny is not healthy, full stop, right? We just want to be in proportion. We want to have muscle. We want to have a metabolism that's kicking over. We want to have energy. We want to like ourselves in the mirror. We want to wear what we want to wear. There's good reasons for looking after our weight. And, even like heart health, cholesterol. I had bloods done this week. When was the last time you had bloods done to check all that stuff, right? I often do that. So, there's lots of ways to check your vitality and your energy, and joy is probably one of them too, because you'll know straight up if you're unhappy or happy with yourself. Being happy with yourself is probably one of the most important things. The way you think about you is probably more important than any other thing that you can try and do. And number 5, stop restricting. Stop trying to diet and give yourself no calories and give yourself the wrong foods or not enough food, because your body will just stop. It'll slow down. It lowers the energy. It's a survival thing. So how do you get more energy if you're doing that to yourself, right? It's a pattern. So they're the 5 things that help us get more energy. There are a lot more, especially mindset. I didn't go into mindset and self-talk and all that today, but that is a major contributor to that negative, heavy energy, because we're all about energy. We're all energy, right? We're energy beings. If we have a lot of self-talk that's putting us down all the time, that's keeping us feeling shit, and we're feeling stuck, all of those things, it's not going to help, right? That's not going to let you feel, that's not going to give you energy. That's going to take it away. It's going to keep you where you are and in that lower vibration where you just can't move forward, right? And so I'm all about moving forward and being positive and having a more positive outlook, but also see the possibilities. Look at the options that we have, right? We've got so many options to be healthy, right? We've got no excuse. So anyway, that's it. I wanted to just drop in here and go through that. I did post those. I might post them in here actually. I posted them on. I'm thinking they went onto this business page actually. I was going to say I posted them on Instagram. Those 5 slides. I think they're also in this group. I'll just have a look when I hop off, and I will. So you can follow me on Instagram if you want. I'm under Leanne Vanderlight. Pretty easy. But yeah, just so as a reminder visually, I'll put them on here so you can see them as well. And yeah, and then there'll be a challenge coming up where if you want to go and get some help, I mean, jump on a call, sure, free, no worries, happy to do that. Also have some one-on-one coaching that's happening for July. If you're interested in working with me and you want a path and you actually want some support and a plan, talk to me about that. I've got spots free for July. But I was going to say I'll run a challenge on this same topic so that we can do more discussion on Zoom and actually work through it, yeah? But anyway, I will let you go, and I hope that was helpful. Let me know if something jumped out for you, if there's one area of what's happening for you that you're stuck with or you're feeling, a bit frustrated with and you can't seem to beat. Yeah, if you'd like some tips or help, please message and I can do that. No worries. All right. Have a beautiful night, guys. Bye. It's not going.